Good evening, viewers. I'm Munmun Sen. So today we're going to discuss about our paper 132, that is Indian government and politics. So first we will discuss about different approaches to study about Indian government and politics. So today we'll discuss about three approaches, that is liberalism, and Marxism and Gandhism. So first we will discuss about what is liberalism. Okay, liberal in order to study about government politics. So first we will first clear about that what are the different approaches, and through the approaches we can go through the different norms, rituals, law, rules, regulations. Okay, so first we will discuss about liberal approaches. What is liberalism? Okay, liberal perspective prefers to use a political system in place of the state. Okay, one thing you must remember, that liberalism always given importance to individual freedom. Okay, so according to liberalist, state is a necessary evil. That means they always says that state always play a very minimal role. Okay, that means they compare state to a necessary evil. That means state is necessary, but it's compared to a like devil or evil. Okay, that means they talk about minimal role of the state. Okay, so that individual can enjoy their extreme liberty. Okay, they compare state with evil. According to liberals, it mainly given importance to freedom to whom? Freedom to the individual. Okay, whether it is freedom to maybe individual or community. Okay, or group. Okay, the liberal approaches or liberalist criticize hierarchical and privileges authority and monarchy in England, okay, and Europe, because they want to achieve liberty of the individual or freedom of the individual. Okay, okay, that's why they always challenge the authority or the authoritarian form of government or monarchical form of government, or any kind of extreme interference of the state. If a state will interfere extremely in the affairs of individual, then in that case individual cannot or the individual unable to use their extreme freedom. Okay, now we discuss about some core elements of liberal approaches. First element is institutions, political system, not the state. Okay, liberal prefer to use the term political system rather than the state for policy of a country. Then what is political system? The system consists of a certain institutions or structures such as caste, language, religion, region, tribe, etc. Okay, while interacting with each other, they perform certain functions, and during their interaction, certain processes occur. Okay, like conflict and cooperation. Okay, and reach a consensus. Okay, then political institutions generally include political parties. Okay, political parties or pressure group or legislature and executive. Okay, but liberal do not give any importance to the state. Okay, then next is core elements is process. What is process? Process indicates the functions which are performed by different institutions and organizations. These are conceptualized as political mobilizations, interest articulation, that means interest group. Okay, and interest aggregation indicate to political parties. Or liberals also refer to progress of democracy. Okay, that means in democratic form of government, people can enjoy their freedom or their liberty. Okay, liberty comes from the Latin word liber. Okay, that means restraints. Okay, that means freedom of the individual. Okay, the liberal approach views politicizations of people as democratizations through electoral mobilizations. Okay, that means in the democratic form of government, people use their power, okay, and choose their representative, and the political participations which directly more towards liberty. Okay, then its next value, next elements is values. Okay, the third one is values. Okay, that means liberty, human rights, and equalities. Liberties, human rights, and equalities. Okay, it given importance to individual rights and community rights, and it is the duty of the state to provide protection to the individuals and weaker sections of people, minority people, etc. Okay, liberalists also give importance to communities, especially their language, their culture, and script, and in the maintenance, it also directly some democratic or through the some democratic principles. Okay, then liberal approaches to study of politics, in which way we study politics through the medium of or through the liberal approaches. Okay, when liberal approaches apply to study Indian politics, it also be called as a system approach. Okay, it also be called as a system approach. Okay, system approach emerged during the time of behavioral movement. Okay, and David Distance was the founder of it. Okay, who is the founder of liberal behavioral approach? David Distance is the founder of behavioral approach. Its main purposes was to study development of modern political institutions in developing societies. Okay, then we next go through the in this liberal approaches, political systems comprises of political institutions, structures, and process. And these three attributes keep interacting, conflicting, and adjusting with each other, balancing and counterbalancing to themselves. Okay, in such a situation, the political system maintains, it does not break down. Okay, initially many scientists believe upon it, like an example of Rajni Kothari. Okay, politics. His one of the important books is Politics in India. Okay, but many other scientists also criticize Rajni Kothari book, Politics in India. Okay, during the 1970s, several individual scholars, in case of studies of individual state or a group of state, use the systematic framework, and they also include subsystem of states politics such as political parties, caste, religion, language, leadership, elections, and pressure group. Okay, then changing scope of liberal approaches. What is changing scope of liberal approaches? Okay, since the 1950, the liberal approach has changed in this way that there has been a convergence between its elements of the 1950 to 1960, and it is no longer averse to using the concept of state, and it studies the activities which aim to achieve social change or are concerned with basic democratic values, people's mobilizations through civil society organizations, multiculturalism, social capital, or in electoral politics. Okay, then now we discuss about in brief way what is civil society. Okay, and what are the role of civil society. Okay, the importance elements of the liberal approaches is individual freedom, as I already discussed that liberal approaches always give an importance to the individual freedom, individual liberty. Okay, and state must not interfere in the freedom of the individual. Okay, but when we discuss about a nation, okay, a state, it also includes community, ethnic group, marginal sections, and protections of their rights. Okay, just like democratic country India, we have fundamental rights. Okay, and the rights provide protection to the individual and community, but in some cases state has unable to provide protection to the citizen and community. Okay, so liberal approaches views the role of civil society organizations in relation to democratic rights of individual. Okay, and the liberal approaches can help to explain the role of these organizations in democratizations of the society or protections of the rights of individuals and groups in the society. Rights or free expression, freedom to form association, freedom to dissent, or freedom to generate and disseminate public opinion. Okay, it helps us to explain the relationship between state and society. Okay. Then now we'll briefly discuss about multiculturalism and how multiculturalism plays an important role in liberal approaches. Okay, liberal approaches not only take about the individual right, but also it take about the group rights. Okay, India is a diverse country. Okay, so in diverse society, it is very much important to recognize each and everyone rights and respect each and everyone culture. Okay, it means human beings are live and grow up within a cultural structural society or world. Okay, they organize their lives and social relations in terms of culturally divided system derived system of meaning and significance. Okay, these cultural communities generally demand various kinds of rights to maintain their collective identity. Okay, such rights called group, collective, or community rights. Multiculturalism is necessarily associated with democracy. Okay, it either guarantees or attempt to provide cultural right of religious and linguistic minority communities to preserve their culture, language, and script and other rights. Okay, so, since the 1990s, the concept of social capital has been used to explain nature in relations among communities. Okay, it is indicative of the existence of civil society and democracy. Okay, the concept is taken from the notions of associations, and the Italian political scientist Robert Putnam, okay, used this phenomena, these terms in his book Making Democratic Work. Okay, then civil traditions in modern Italy. Okay, social capital indicate existence of networking among people in a group or a community who share common values and trust each other. Okay, the rise of new social movements, civil society, and realizations of the importance of study substantive democracy has added to the significance to this approach. Okay, that means in a brief way, liberal approaches or liberalism always give importance to the individual freedom. Okay, any kind of restriction, they always restricted any kind of restriction in individual liberty. Okay, and one important thing is a liberal approach always says that state should not interfere in the enjoying of individual freedom. And liberal approaches can be divided into three categories, that is classical liberalism and modern liberalism or positive liberalism, then new liberalism. Okay, classical liberalism always talk about the minimal role of the state, okay, or rolling back of the state. That's why they always said that state is a necessary evil. Okay, that means they compare state with evil things. It is necessary, but they talk about night watchman state. Okay, that means state always play a minimum role. Okay, that means negative role of the classical liberalism also or may be called negative liberalism. That means they always talk about that negative role of the state. Then it's next generation, and who is the father of classical liberalism? John Locke is the father of classical liberalism. Then how classical liberalism converted to modern liberalism or positive liberalism. In positive liberalism, they talk about welfare state. That means state is necessary, and state always play the role of welfare institutions. That means they care about individuals rights, liberty, okay, freedom. Okay, so that in positive liberalism or modern liberalism, they talk about that state is a necessary. Okay, that means state must leading the role of a welfare institutions. Then after some decade, again when new liberalism come, they again talk about that, again talk about classical liberalism concept. Okay, that means they again talk about that ruling out of the state. Okay, that means state should not interfere in the individual liberty. Okay, and new liberals always given importance to LPG. That means liberalization, globalizations, and privatizations. Okay, so they also talk about that state must leading the state must wither away, or that means state or minimal role of the state. So in this way, liberalism can be classified into three groups, that is classical liberalism or negative liberalism, then modern liberalism or positive liberalism, and third one is libertarianism. Okay, so that is all about liberalism. Then next, as we have a very brief time, okay, or within a very short time, we have to cover three units, that is liberalizations and Marxism and Gandhism. So that is all about liberalism. Okay, and if you have any doubt about liberalism, then you can ask me after our classes is over. Okay, then next we discuss about Marxism. What is Marxism? Marxist approach is a way of studying society, and it is influenced by Marxism. Okay, Karl Marx. Okay, one question come everybody's mind, that whether changes occur due to Marxism, but nothing can be definitely said about change in society or revolution as envisaged by Marxism. Okay, that means Marxist theory always given importance to the revolution. Okay, revolution means changes in the society. Okay, and Karl Marx was the main proponent of Marxist theory. Okay, but Marxist as a tool to explain politics or changes in society is being used by different scholar. Okay, this is known as Marxist or Marxian approaches or perspectives. Okay, here we discuss how Marxist approach has been used to explain politics in India. In which way Marxist approach can be used in politics in India. Okay, Marxist approach to Indian politics is guided by basic tenets of Marxism. Okay, these tenets attempted to interpret society in such a way that it helps to change the society. Okay, the various tints of Marxian approaches are dialectical materialism, historical materialism, class struggle, end of class exploitations, and theory of surplus value. So these are the some basic tenets of Marxist approach. Okay, so first, and one more important thing is that Karl Marx or Marxist approach, they totally talk about the wither away of state. That means state, they compare, okay, they compare state as an instrument of exploitations. Okay, that means state always favor rich sections of the people, okay, or bourgeoisie people, and they always exploits proletariat. Okay, that means there is a class war between bourgeoisie and proletariat. Okay, and state always support bourgeoisie communities. Okay, so in Marxist approach, Karl Marx, or in Marxist approach, they totally talk about the totally wither away of state. Okay, so in this concept, he talked about different tenets of Marxist approach. So first, see, he talked about historical materialism, then dialectical materialism, then he talked about class war, and next one is surplus value. Okay, besides many other tenets also there, that is alienations. Okay, in this way different tenets also there, but most important is dialectical materialism, historical materialism, and class struggle and surplus value. So what is dialectical materialism? Dialectical materialism, the concept dialectics, he borrowed from the Hegel. Okay, Hegel discuss about dialectical, Karl Marx concept is dialectical materialism, and the word dialectic he derived from the Hegel. Okay, because Hegel used dialectical idealism. Okay, that means Hegel always given importance to the ideas, okay. Because and he talk about that ideas is the main concept for which society always change, okay. That means revolution came because of ideas, okay. Because of ideas revolution always change. But Karl Marx says that revolution occurs or changes in the society occurs because of matter, okay. That means matter is responsible for every type of changes, okay. There is a or he talked about a concept of thesis, antithesis and synthesis, okay. When there is conflict between thesis and antithesis, after that sometimes synthesis occur, okay. And this concept or these systems he borrowed from Hegel, okay. Then he talked about historical materialism, okay. And what is historical materialism? Historical materialism is a scientific concept, okay. Because Karl Marx study always given importance to the history, okay. So historical materialism always given importance to the history. So in historical materialism, Karl Marx divide society, or Karl Marx Karl Marx structures of society can be divided into two categories, okay. That is base and superstructure, okay. That means and one more thing, structures of society, when there is a changes occur in base, that automatically changes occur in superstructures, okay. So what is base and what is superstructure? Base means mode of productions, okay. And superstructures is like our political institutions, religion, our culture, literature, arts, these things are our superstructure. So and base is mode of productions, okay. So according to Karl Marx, when there is changes occur in mode of productions, that automatically our political system, our culture, our literature, arts, everything is changes, okay. So again Karl Marx divided more mode of productions into two categories, okay. That is forces of productions and relations of productions, okay. So forces of productions, what are the things of forces of productions? Forces of productions is means of productions and labor power. Means of productions is the techniques, okay, or the tools by which one can produce, okay. Tools or equipments, these are things are the means of productions. Then labor power is labor power, you already everyone know what is labor power, okay. So when there is any changes occur, then these structure automatically change to the superstructure, okay. Then what is relations of productions? Okay, relations of productions, it's also exist in that way, that in a slave owning society, in that society or ancient societies, there are two classes existing, one is slave and other is master, okay. Then after that, when medieval or after sometimes two classes occurs, that is the landlord and serf. After sometimes there is existence of capitalist society, and in capitalist society there is also existence of two classes, that is our bourgeoisie classes and proletariat classes. Bourgeoisie, that means indicated to rich sections of society, and proletariat indicates poor sections of societies. So according to Karl Marx, in our society, so Karl Marx divided society into two parts, okay. One is always exploited class, and one is always exploiting class. That means one class always exploit the other classes, okay. That means when we talk about during the period of what ancient period, okay, in that time we found that there is one class is master and other class is servant, okay. Masters always exploit servant, okay. After some decades, these classes again changes, okay, and changes between lord and serf. Okay, then after some duration this class again changes. There is there in capitalist classes there is existence of proletariat and bourgeoisie, or rich or poor classes. Rich class always exploit the poor sections of the society. So in this way class systems occur in his historical materialism. Okay, then next he discuss about class struggle. Okay, class struggle means according to Karl Marx, when a day come when proletariat establish their dictatorship. That means class war occur between the bourgeoisie classes and proletariat classes, as bourgeoisie classes are very small in number, and proletariat, that means poor classes, their number is very large. So they always exploit or there is a class war between bourgeoisie classes and proletariat classes. Okay, as proletariat or poor sections of the society, their number is large, so definitely they win the classes and they establish their dictatorship. Okay, so after that socialism and socialism established, or communism established. When communism established, there is complete abolitions of any class. Okay, there is exist only one class, that is the proletariat class. Okay, so there is no need of any institutions, or there is no need of any state. So he said that they come when we found there is a totally abolitions or wither away of state. Okay, so this is all about his concept of any institutions or state. Okay, then next is his next concept is about Marxist classes, Marxist perspectives and classes in rural areas. Okay, so in Marxist perspectives, classes in rural areas, we discuss about that. According to Marxist approach, the class in agriculture in India have been identified in this way, that who owns the land and other resources such as tools and instrument to cultivate land, who work in the land, and what is the nature of relationship among those who work in land. Okay, and other resources. Okay, the rural rich own land and other resources. They generally do not work in the land. Okay, but get the work done by wage laborers. However, middle persons or middle peasants work on land, but like the landlords and rich peasants, they do not work, okay, on anybody else land. Okay, the rural people, they do not have their own land, and they have to work in other land. Okay, so different what different class war arises. Okay, different movements arises. So peasants, those are peasants, or those are farmers, they start a different type of movement. Okay, so what are the concept of this in this way, how they in this way, after some period, they establish their dictatorship. Okay, the Marxist approach, the state is a crucial institutions. That means they always talked about stateless society. Okay, to study politics. Okay, to study politics of a country. Okay, the Marxist view the state as an executive of the bourgeoisie. That means state as an instrument of exploitation. It is always work for the bourgeoisie classes. Okay, or of the proprietor classes. Okay, the India, three kinds of communist parties who follow Marxian ideologies. The Communist Party of India, that is CPI, the Communist Party of India, Marxist. Okay, then that is CPIM, and several Marxist parties who define state according to Marxist approach. Okay, so this is all about our Marxist approach. Then we go to next approach, that is our Gandhian approach. Okay, so as you all know that Gandhian approach give significance to non-violence, ethics, and principles of trusteeship, etc. Okay, Gandhian approach given importance to truth and non-violence, and who also suggest a way to build new society. Okay, the tenets of Gandhian approach are truth, non-violence, safeguards, Swaraj, Sarvadaya, justifications of means to achieving a goal, then ethics, moralities, Ramarajya. Okay, these are all the tenets of Marxist approach. Okay, non-violence is more than just avoidance of violence. Okay, to use non-violence and moral or ethical tools to achieve goals means to follow a method which known as satyagraha. Okay, according to Gandhism, the ultimate goal is to establish Swaraj or self-control. This will lead to formation of Ramarajya. Okay, or society where people live in a peace and um, people lead a very peaceful life. Okay, so just a minute. So then we discuss Gandhian approach and political science in India. Okay, in political science, the state most common themes which have been studied by Gandhian approach are social movements and uses of satyagraha in them. Okay, the followers of Gandhian such as Charan Singh, Lohia, and other socialist leaders. Lohia and Charan Singh attacked industrializations in favor of small scale industries. Okay, Gandhian approach also taught that the role of the state performed by Panchayati Raj institutions, which was established during the time of 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment. The states should perform power and participate in decision making process. Okay, through decentralizations or panchayati raj institutions. Then we discuss about different social movement. Okay, social movements like Gujarat movement in Gujarat 1974 against the price rise. Okay, and such shows the role of satyagraha in anti-levy. Okay, the movement which was launched by the student began against inflated. Okay, inflated took up varieties of issues, that is corruptions, black marketing, price rise, civil liberties, etc. Okay, which results resigns of Gujarat Chief Minister Chima Bhai Patel. Okay, another movement is JP movement. Okay, it provided a background to impositions of emergency in 1975. Okay, like many other movement also lead. Okay, then impact of Gandhian philosophy on public policy. Okay, the Janta government uh, we discuss about Gandhian approach and political science in India. In a brief way, we discuss about Gandhian approach in political science in India and its different parts. Okay, different elements. Okay, first elements is social and social harmony. Okay, the questions how Gandhism has helped to combat communal patriotism has been used by historians, especially with reference to different riots. Okay, okay. Then we go to different social movement and party system. In brief way, what is party system? Revising his view on revisiting or revisiting the Congress system in an article in Asian Survey, December 1974 to Rajni Kothari stresses that a government will not be able to deliver without grassroots organizations. Okay, in the post Nehruvian period, the Congress was lacking it even conflict which assumes the form of mass agitations goes include outside the legislature and electoral channels. Okay, it develops rapport with the people. In the absence of organizations, police and hirelings from outside make up for the gap in organizational structures. Okay, if the Congress fail in building grassroots trades, it can be filled by the oppositions. Okay, without bring back to party structure, election will lose credibility. Then we discuss about impact of Gandhian philosophy on public policies. Okay, the Janata government policies attempted to replace Nehruvian model of development, investment priorities, and plan allocations in favor of agricultural rather than industries. Okay, employment through investment in agricultural and small scale industry and appropriate policy. Through such policies, India was supposed to become a nation more of farmers than of bureaucrats. Okay, these are some examples of impact of Gandhism on state politics. Such issues have been influenced by Gandhian perspectives. Charan Singh attacked on Nehruvian model and his view on alternative model of development, giving priority to agricultural village community and small scale industries can be viewed to be cast in Gandhian framework. Okay, he accused Nehru of having industrializations India. Okay, using Gandhian approach, Rahul Ramagudam underlines role of material and ethics in sustenance of life. The material aspects of influenced by Nehruvian philosophy and ethical by the Gandhi. However, there has been lack of adequacy policy oriented assessment of Gandhian socio-economic perspectives. Okay, then we discuss about Gandhian perspectives and postmodernism. Okay, in their book Postmodern Gandhi and Other Essay, Lord Rudolph, okay, and Sumani, like Gandhi to a postmodern thinker. Okay, they challenge the general notions about Gandhi that he was a traditional leader. In their opinion, Gandhi was a postmodernist or understood as to why Rudolph consider Gandhi as postmodern thinker. Okay, it is relevant to identify some core features of postmodernism. Okay, these features are following or these features are like primacy to the segment of a whole or its fragments, truth as a contested reality and significance of the context. In relation to these features, Rodolph also categorize Gandhi as a postmodernist thinker. Okay, one is important book in Saraj, which is written in 1909, and My Experiment with Truth. They argue that for Gandhi, the authenticity of truth is contextual and experimental. Gandhi's emphasis on the need for decentralizations or social and political power also qualify him to be designated as or made as or made him as a postmodernist thinker. Okay, so this is all about our Gandhian approach. Okay, so this is all about from today's class. That is, we will discuss about liberalism, Marxism, and Gandhism. So now, if you have any doubt about liberalism or Marxism or Gandhism, then you can ask me. in a brief way, again, I discuss that what is liberal approach, the main concept of liberal approach, and what is Marxist approach, and what is Gandhian approach. In a within a very short period of time, I will again summarize the three approaches. Okay, liberal approach. One important thing is liberal approach always given importance to the individual freedom. Okay, that means they always talk about minimal role of the state. Okay, and liberal approach, one more important thing is liberal approach can be divided into three categories, that is classical liberalism. John Locke is the father of classical liberalism. Classical liberalism also called negative liberalism. Then next one is positive liberalism or modern liberalism. Then modern liberalism always talk about welfare institutions or welfare state. Okay, but classical liberalism talk about minimal role of the state. In case of positive liberalism, they talk about role of the state in as like a welfare institutions. And new liberalism again talk about the concept of classical liberalism. That means they give an importance to the minimal role of the state, and they always talk about LPG, that is liberalizations, privatizations, and globalizations. Okay, that is in a brief way. This is all about our liberal concept. And Marxist concept also, in liberal approach, they talk about minimal role of the state, but in Gandhian approach, they totally talk about wither away of state. Okay, that means state, they consider that state as an instrument of exploitation. So according to Karl Marx, he is against capitalism. Okay, so in capitalist society, according to Karl Marx, classes is divided into two groups, that is bourgeoisie and proletariat. That means one rich class and another is poor class. So according to him, rich classes always exploit the poor classes. Okay, that's why there is what class war happen. Okay, so according to Karl Marx, that state always supported the rich sections of the society. Okay, so a day come when there is class war happen between the rich sections of the society and poor sections of the society. And in that society, after that, communism can be established, and poor sections of society establish their dictatorship. Okay, and in that cases, state is totally wither away. Okay, in Gandhian concept, he talked about the role of or strong or welfare role of the state. That means he also talked about the state must play an important role, or play the role just like state can play the role just like welfare institutions. Okay, that means by using his different tenets or different elements, just like satyagraha, sarvodaya, but non-violence, he always, by using these weapons, he said that we must have our own constitutions, our own state regulation systems, so that individual can get their best freedom, liberty, and rights. So, okay, that is in a brief way all about our liberal Marxist and Gandhian concept. Okay, so now if you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, then thank you. This is all about from today's class.